Hey everybody, it's Johnny Rose from the Vinny and Rob show out in Baltimore, or the video producer. Markel told me to try and write something up to show you guys how to make some of the lower third titles that I've been using. And instead of doing that, I'm just going to record this and show you how to do it. So hopefully you have Photoshop, and because that's the program I'm going to be using to create this title. And as you can see here, I have all my elements open that I want to have. I have the Vinny and Rob elf. I have the Vinny Rob's logo on a Christmas ball, a wreath. Here's a still frame that I captured from the TriCaster. Here's some Christmas lights. And this is Walking in a Winter Wonderland. And we don't really need him. We're just going to get rid of him for a moment. So first off, I'm going to start with the lower third that I captured in the TriCaster. I just put up one of the lower thirds that I had and put a blank background over it and grabbed a screenshot or a still frame grab from it. So I imported that. Over here on this side, I want to double click the layer where it says background and select OK, and this will make this unlocked. Okay, so now that I have that, I want to hit W, selecting the wand, and select the black background to get rid of that, and then I'll hit delete. Let's see. Oh, it's not deleting. Delete. There we go. And now that I have that, I can drag over some of the elements that I have here into the lower third. Actually, before I do that, let me hit Command T or Control T. I'm using a Mac, so depending on whichever operating platform you're using, and drag that out. And when you do that, you want to hold the shift button. That will keep the dimensions the same. And if you don't hit the shift button, when you drag out the corners of it, you'll get all kinds of distortion like this. So just hit Command T again, drag this out about where I want it. That should be good. So we'll start with the Christmas wreath here that I have. We're doing for holidays, so I'll just hit V and drag this over. And that's a little too big, so with that layer selected, we'll hit Command or Control T and then hit Command or Control 0, because that will show you the full area that you have to work with for that particular graphic. So we'll drag the corner of this graphic holding the shift button, get it down to about where I want it to be. Say right about there should be good. Nope, I don't want that. Put it right there. That looks good. Hit enter to let that lock that in. I'll close this out because I don't need that anymore. Now we'll grab the show logo in the ornament. Hit V, drag that over, and drag that on top of this. Hit Command T or Control T again, depending on whatever platform you're using. Zoom in a bit. Okay, do that. If I want to move multiple images at the same time, I just hit, I think it's Control and select, or Shift multiple layers. I don't know, just play around with it, see whatever works. Command T, that way I can resize both of these at the same time because that was a little big. Alright, now I'm done with that. Now we'll drag over the Vinny and Rob dressed as elves graphic. And that's a little too big, so we're going to resize this again, or as well. Get them about where they should be. That looks good. Now that I'm seeing this, it looks like my lower third isn't big enough to allow for the text that I want to put in here, so I'm going to resize that. Raise that up to get some more space. And now I'm going to resize the wreath and the ornament again, just to cover up that logo that's back there for the station. I can close that out. And then I'm going to put some Christmas lights here on the bottom. And let's see, that doesn't go all the way across, obviously, so I'm going to resize that by hitting Alt and dragging this over, and then line lining these up. I'm going to zoom in. Drag that down just a bit. There we go. Zoom back out. Now those both are pretty much where I want them to be, but I want to treat that as one big graphic. So I'm going to select both of those, which are those graphics. Right click and let's see, I want to merge those layers. So now that's one complete graphic that I can bring down here. That looks good. And now I got to make my text. So I'm just going to put, actually that looks really small. Let's increase that. There we go. Text is the T button, if you don't know that. Vinny and Rob, 12 Days of Christmas, which is the promotion that we're doing over at our station at 105.7 The Fan in Baltimore. Can resize this the same way you can with the graphics, Command or Control T. And that looks a little small, so let's get a nice thicker kind of text here. Let's just go with that looks kind of Christmassy. We'll do that. And I'm going to select all of that. I'm going to change the text to white. But depending on if the host is wearing a white shirt or something like that, that may not show up too well. So I'm going to right click that text layer over here and select blending options and give it a, let's do an outer glow. Normal, and then I'm going to select black. And then play around with the opacity, the spread, and the size, and just get it to look about where I want it to be. That looks good. So that'll at least make the text stand out a bit in case, like I said, the host is wearing a white shirt. Now I can copy this the same way I copied the lights down here. So I'm going to select V first for my pointer cursor, hit Alt, and then drag that out. So part of the contest is that the person or the viewer has to go online and watch the show in order to find out what a code word is for the day, and then they have to send out an email or fill out an email form, and that is how they enter in to get the prize. But I'm going to just say text the code word just for the purpose of this demonstration. I'm going to apply that, and then once I have it about where I want it to be, I leave this part blank down here because I'm going to import this graphic into the TriCaster text editor. I think it's called Live Text. So then I can actually put the code word in here for the day, but then export that as a CG XML file so that I don't have to go in and recreate this graphic every time. I just have to go in there and right click edit text in the TriCaster during the broadcast to change the code word. So right now that looks about where I want it to be. Just for the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to finalize this now. So there's a couple different ways that you can do this. You can layer merge visible, which I can do because everything over here is currently visible. Or I can do this by selecting all the layers over here and then merging layers. So we'll just do layer merge layers. What was that? Merge layers. And then I'm going to export or save as. Save as. Demo lower third. And when you do this, you want to make sure that you save it as a PNG file so it keeps that transparency over this so that you'll be able to see whatever video element is underneath that you're going to be putting this on top of. So PNG file, save, interlace, I just put none. And there you go. And that's basically how you can use multiple layers of graphics to create a more dynamic lower third.